It's a mind control machine. It's the most powerful mind control machine that's ever been invented. And by the way, you should never use the Google search engine. Never.
Dr. Robert Epstein is not a conspiracy theorist on a street corner with a cardboard sign. He's a Harvard-educated psychologist, former editor-in-chief of Psychology Today, and a senior research psychologist at the American Institute for Behavioral Research and Technology. Back in 2012, Epstein began studying something most people overlooked: how search rankings subtly shape the way people see the world. Unlike fake news or political ads, Google search engine results feel neutral, objective, like a mirror of the world. But what if that mirror is tilted? Epstein's research led him to coin a term that would ignite one of the biggest tech debates of the decade: SEMA, short for Search Engine Manipulation Effect. His study suggested that when Google places certain results higher, even without changing the content itself, it can shift undecided voters' opinions by 20% or more. That's not a small number. In tight elections, it's enough to decide the outcome of entire countries. What SEM really means. Most people assume the first result on Google is simply the best answer. We trust the algorithm. We don't question it. But Epstein's experiments conducted in multiple countries showed something chilling. When participants saw search results favoring one candidate, their perception of that candidate improved without them realizing why. Even when people were aware they were part of an experiment, the effect persisted. The bias worked silently, bypassing conscious resistance. In other words, people didn't feel manipulated, but they were. That's why Epstein calls Google's power ephemeral. The influence disappears once the search page changes, leaving no trace, no record, no smoking gun. It's the perfect weapon, Epstein once said. Invisible, untraceable, and more powerful than any campaign had ever created. The wake-up call in 2016. The turning point came during the 2016 U.S. presidential election. Epstein's monitoring system, a network of field agents capturing search results in real time, allegedly showed a pro-Clinton bias in Google search suggestions and results. While some analysts dismissed the findings, Epstein claimed the bias could have shifted millions of votes without anyone realizing it. That claim landed like a bomb. Google immediately denied manipulating results for political purposes. They argued that their algorithms reflected user behavior, not corporate preference. But the debate had already spilled into the public sphere, amplified by congressional hearings and media battles. Epstein testified before the U.S. Senate Judiciary Subcommittee in 2019, warning lawmakers that Google could easily shift 15 million votes in a national election with no paper trail. His warning made headlines worldwide. Why does it so deep? The controversy isn't just about elections. It's about trust. Google isn't just another tech company. It's a default gatekeeper to the world's knowledge. Every search, every autocomplete, every people also ask box subtly guides how billions of people think, vote, and feel. And unlike social media posts, search results feel authoritative. They don't look like opinions. They look like facts. That's what makes it so powerful and so dangerous. Google versus Epstein, the information war. Over the years, the relationship between Google and Dr. Epstein has grown increasingly tense. Google has repeatedly stated that it does not rig search results to favor any political party or candidate. Their spokespeople have said, "We go to great lengths to build our products and enforce our policies in ways that do not take political leanings into account." But Epstein didn't back down. He doubled his efforts by building what he calls a digital shield, a system that monitors real-time search results from thousands of volunteers across the country. His goal? Catch algorithmic bias the moment it happens. In 2020, he claimed to have captured over 1.5 million political search results during the U.S. election. His team said the data revealed significant liberal bias in how political information was presented to voters. Google, again, denied wrongdoing. Independent analysts debated the methodology. Some accused Epstein of overstating his conclusions. Others argued he was exposing something everyone else was too afraid to talk about: the ephemeral influence nobody sees. One of Epstein's most haunting arguments is about ephemeral content. Unlike articles, tweets, or ads, search results disappear once the user moves on. That means No legal oversight, no archive to review later, no way to prove manipulation after the fact. Imagine trying to prove a whisper changed an election. This is why Epstein believes Google's power is more dangerous than any traditional media outlet. And he's not alone. Even Edward Snowden, the NSA whistleblower, once said that Google has more influence over the lives of people than most governments on Earth. The story took a deeply personal turn in 2019 when Dr. Epstein's wife, Misty Vaughn, died in a car accident. The tragic timing, just months after his Senate testimony, sparked a wave of speculation online. Some fringe commentators suggested foul play, though no evidence supported those claims. Epstein publicly dismissed the conspiracy theories, but said the tragedy gave him even more reason to keep fighting. In recent years, Epstein's warnings have gained new relevance. In 2023, he reported fresh evidence suggesting Google's Go Vote reminders were shown disproportionately to liberal users. Lawmakers renewed calls for greater transparency in algorithmic systems. Several countries, including Australia, the EU, and India, launched investigations into big tech election influence. Meanwhile, Google announced new transparency initiatives, but critics argue they're superficial, like putting curtains on a locked window. Epstein has also been working with state attorneys general and independent watchdogs to push for algorithm monitoring. His team developed a tool they claim can detect real-time manipulation, offering it to both parties for free. The debate is no longer just academic. It's becoming a national security conversation. Why many don't want to hear it? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people don't want to believe they can be manipulated. We like to think our opinions are our own. So when someone like Epstein comes along and says, the way you search may have decided your vote, it feels personal and even insulting. That's why Epstein's message often faces skepticism, even from people who might agree with him in principle. Big tech has become so woven into daily life that questioning it feels like questioning the air we breathe. But the numbers speak for themselves. Studies from multiple universities, not just Epstein's lab, have confirmed that ranking order strongly affects trust and memory recall. Whether intentional or not, algorithmic bias has real-world consequences. Where the story goes from here. Epstein believed the solution isn't to destroy Google, but it's to watch it. He proposes real-time monitoring systems that track what users are shown during elections, creating a digital paper trail. Similar systems already exist for TV ads and political donations. Why not search engines? Some policymakers agree. Bills have been introduced in the U.S. and Europe to increase algorithm transparency. But so far, big tech lobbying has kept most of those bills from becoming law. This isn't just about politics. It's about the architecture of reality itself. When one company can shape what billions see first, it shapes what billions believe. And belief drives everything from who we vote for to how we understand science, culture, and each other. As Epstein put in one interview, they don't need to change your vote directly. They just need to change what you see. Whether you agree with the conclusions or not, one thing is undeniable. The power Google holds over human attention is unprecedented in history. It's bigger than newspapers, bigger than TV, and arguably bigger than governments. So where does that leave us? If Epstein is right, then the next major election, anywhere in the world, won't be decided on a debate stage or in a newspaper headline. It will be decided quietly and visibly inside a search box. But that also means awareness is our first defense. Knowing how easily perception can be steered is a first step to reclaiming agency. The debate over Google's influence is far from over. But one thing is certain. Dr. Robert Epstein has forced the world to ask a question that can no longer be ignored. When information is controlled, who really controls the future?